Well, hello everyone, and welcome to your Gemini New Moon Astro Energy Report for June 6th of 2024. I am Susan Saucier, your spiritual intuitive coach. First, I want to say happy birthday to all the Geminis out there. Please note that this report's for everyone, and if you know in your birth chart where Gemini is, it will help you know what area of your life you may be working on. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, you will more than likely feel this a bit more deeply. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you enjoy this message, and if you do, please hit the subscribe button, notification bell, give it a thumbs up, share with others, and introduce yourself in the comment section. And of course, a quick shout out and thank you to those of you who continue to support this channel. I am truly thrilled to have all of you here, and I really do appreciate that you take the time to leave your wonderful comments. Now, in my previous videos, I would typically put a timestamp in the description below for the guided meditation portion. Going forward, I am going to instead provide a link to go to the meditation instead of combining them in this video. I hope that won't be too much of an inconvenience, but it is something that should hopefully help this channel be supported with guidelines on what I need to do going forward. So let's first begin by talking about what you may experience in your world over the next few weeks with this Gemini new moon. I like to review the negative aspects and the positive aspects of the zodiac sign that the new moon or full moon is in, because it gives you an idea of what you might be experiencing yourself and what others around you might be experiencing or even acting out. So some of the negative aspects that you may encounter from the Gemini new moon are feeling indecisive, inconsistent. Sometimes they can have a nervous, restless energy and become lost in switching from socializing one moment to serious and bored the next. Some of the positive signs of Gemini are they can be very gentle and affectionate, curious, adaptable. They learn quickly. They love to chat and communicate and exchange ideas. Gemini is an air sign and is ruled by Mercury. Air signs are known for being big thinkers, so over the next few weeks, you may find yourself in your head more than in your heart. Gemini is known as the twins, and therefore they can come across as having two different personalities. Some refer to these twin moments as shifting from the physical persona to the spiritual soul self. These two sides of Gemini represent the inner and outer version of this zodiac sign, in that they can be filled with wisdom and deep conversation one moment, and the next they are out frolicking around like a small child in a playground. You may notice that you're filled with a sense of wanting to go out with some friends and socialize and chat and catch up on what's going on in their lives and just sharing some fun conversations. This is a great time to do that. It's a time to socialize and communicate. It's a time to write, to listen to your favorite music, to move. If you've had the desire, for instance, to, say, write a book, or you've been meaning to journal, start journaling because it's so really healing, or even maybe start a blog, it's a great time to do that. You are being supported to do that. Gemini is very much about getting out to the world what you wish to talk about and communicate to others. What's important to your heart and what is it that you want to share with the world? Gemini is unique in the way they experience love and friendships and any relationship for that matter. They first tend to see through verbal connection before the physical. So you may find that that will be something you come up against if you're stuck in a repetitive relationship or situation that no longer ignites your fire. It's interesting because you're avoiding almost the emotions that are there because you're so connected to the thinking and how they're communicating to you. But really pay attention to your intuition and to your emotions when that happens, because they are strong signals that are trying to get through that very thick persona of a Gemini, where they may just get lost in their realistic thinking of things. And it may be that this new moon in Gemini is bringing up some heavy stuff. It can happen regarding the way you get lost on a mission to share information with others and to bring peace and resolution, instead of allowing yourself to receive what they are trying to share with you. Sometimes when you are so gung-ho on making sure a situation is resolved, and you have the ability to do so, you're probably fantastic at it. But what's happening is you're missing sometimes what is needing to be received by you. So this will be a time when you kind of take the back seat, if you can, and allow yourself to listen and pay attention to what's being communicated around you. Instead of trying to fix it, try to see if you're able to understand from their perspective what they're communicating, and it probably has to do with some deep emotions that are buried under the surface that they're either avoiding or not wanting to share. So take the time to not just step in, jump in, and fix by communicating whatever you do to bring the peace, and instead communicate your desires to help them bring about what they need to share, maybe to speak up what they need to share with you. This is also a great time to spend with your family and close friends, to let yourself really be available, again, like I was just mentioning, to listen before you respond. And instead of jumping in with opinions, because that can be another thing that really comes up during this new moon, see yourself in the other person's shoes for a moment and be willing to, whether you agree or not, to let it go. Instead of trying to control the situation for a specific outcome, communicate through your wisdom and your knowledge from your soul, from your heart. It's not always easy to get out of your head, but it will be important to do so during this time, to let your heart come forward and bring the information into your brain and your mind so that you can communicate through your heart instead of through your fears and doubts of what may happen if you let everything get out of control. This is a great time to also try new things and to let inspiration guide you. Since Gemini is one of the most social signs, it will be important to tap into that energy, get out of your comfort zone, maybe join a new group. Start one that you wanted to go to for a while and you can't seem to find that group. Maybe it's something you could start yourself. It's a great time to share ideas and let your creative juices flow, and bouncing them off other people is really, really good at this time. So where in your life are you feeling lost in your thoughts? Where in your life are you overthinking and creating more turmoil instead of more joy? Gemini's energy is really fast moving, and it can make you feel a bit restless and a bit scatterbrained, and especially with making decisions. Since Gemini will definitely get you thinking more at this time than you typically do. Well, some of those may already be overthinkers, so this might really feel intense with your mind going nonstop. It's going to be very important that you don't become lost in those continuous thoughts that are not serving you. This can sometimes become a pattern that keeps you from avoiding your emotions on a deeper level. Remember to feel, because your mind is trying to communicate that to you. Your brain and your heart are connected way more than you realize. They communicate all the time, and they often become unbalanced when you're too much in your head or you're too much in your heart and your emotions. But when you find yourself continuously thinking about a situation, recognize it. Go into your heart, specifically make that intention, and allow yourself to feel what emotions are connected to this. It might surprise you to discover that maybe even fear is underneath the surface of the other emotions that are covering it up. Communication is a part of your everyday life. This new moon in Gemini is reminding you that how you communicate with others is so very important. And that means how you communicate your boundaries, if you stand by them, or if you let others walk right through them. So really focus on that as well right now. You're being supported to hold those boundaries in place by communicating your true feelings to others. So speaking of that, how do you communicate your true feelings to others? Do you feel safe to do so? Are you afraid to do so? Do you allow others to know how you truly feel? Or do you put everyone else first so that you can have some peace because they might not like what you have to say? It's important that you get this out and to stand your ground and not let someone manipulate you into believing that how you feel is wrong. And if you continue to hold on to that anger, it will turn into resentment, which will eventually attack your physical body. So it's important right now and always to honor yourself and to speak up by communicating what your needs are and how you feel. Because burying those feelings and putting on that mask and pretending everything's okay, someday that mask will fail to protect you and your body will be broken. Take care of you now. I want to also ask you, what seeds are you planting in your garden? In other words, the way you communicate to yourself. How are you speaking to yourself? Because how you speak to yourself is just as important, if not the most important piece of information that I'm sharing with you. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So if you're talking a bunch of garbage to yourself, then you're experiencing being treated like trash. This new moon in Gemini is offering you a wonderful opportunity to clean up the mess in your mind. Clean up how you talk to yourself. And remember, how you are talking to yourself is how you are creating your outer world, along with how you are talking to your inner child. You know, that little girl or boy inside of you that is still hearing those negative words from childhood or teenage years, whatever it might be, and from you, that you continue to feed him or her every day by the way you speak to yourself, because you're also talking that way to that younger version of you who's really needing support, love, and encouragement instead. So in closing, use the beautiful new moon Gemini energy to enhance your communication with yourself and also with others. This is a great time to speak up, to get what you need out there. It's a great time to journal. It's a great time to write out your feelings and your desires and what you want for yourself going forward in life. Spend time outside if possible in nature and breathe fresh air. Gemini's an air sign, so it's not just about thinking and being in your head. It's about breathing. So let your mind hold on to the beautiful thoughts and ideas and creative, amazing, wonderful stuff that's going to be coming up for you right during this time frame, because there's going to be lots of surprising ideas that come out of nowhere. They're important on your journey. But at the same time, it's also important to breathe, to take the time to focus on your breath. Instead of taking it for granted, spend about 5 to 10 minutes a day sitting with your eyes closed and slowly breathing through your nose. Hold for the count of 4 and then release through your mouth by exhaling for the count of 8 very slowly. This actually will flip a switch in your brain, going from what feels like a fight or flight energy to a nice, calm, relaxed energy. When you breathe in through your nose, visualize fresh air filling and cleansing your lungs. And even more importantly, when you exhale, visualize that air you're releasing as if you are purging and cleansing all the heaviness in your body that's needing healing for your body, mind, and spirit. Remember, my friend, you are exactly where you're supposed to be, and you can drive your ship on another path if you choose. But oftentimes, it's important that you get out of your own way. Always remember that your angels, your guides, God, spirit team, they're all right there supporting you every step of the way. They are your cheerleaders. And if you take the time to sit in quiet, you will hear them and you will get the answers you're seeking. You are more than your pain. You're more than your scars. You're more than your fear. You are truly amazing. And don't ever, ever forget how important you are being here at this time. You have a role to play. And enjoy your life to the fullest. Honor you in the process. Now remember, if you enjoyed this message, please hit the subscribe button, share it with others, and leave a comment. And if you're interested in preparing your space, I have left a link below for that. And if you're interested in the new moon guided meditation for the Gemini new moon, I've also left a link in the space below as well. Namaste.